Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And straight off the bat, there's $1,600 worth of bonuses that you can get right now over on Bybit. Make sure you check it out. A link is down below. It's the exchange that I use all the freaking time to leverage trade. Good part being free money, couple of cool competitions coming up. Bad side is, well, leverage trading is not that simple. But I just wanted to quickly make that clear because there's only 1.5 more day of this $1,600 bonus. So check it out, link is down below. All right, so a couple of times already today, I mentioned that I was going to be talking about the James Fillon, Jeremy Hogan situation. It's been really interesting. So let's quickly pull it up here. James Fillon put up an entire thread right here, starting off with, everything I say here is speculation. But based on my experience, I have a different take on what is happening in this case. I don't think that anyone should expect a settlement anytime soon. The government is not giving up, and based on everything I've read, Ripple will not give in. I do think that the Hinman deposition went forward. I don't think Ripple would forfeit that opportunity. Ripple said Hinman has unique first-hand knowledge about the SEC's communications with third parties and about the agency's adoption or approval of his well-publicized speech in 2018 about the regulatory treatment of crypto. If they can find out specifically who he spoke with and what was said, information that Mr. Hinman himself can provide, Ripple can learn information about what the SEC said to the market participants that is crucial to Howey, the aiding and abetting charge, and the fairness defense. My take is that Ripple got names of who Hinman and others talked to and what was said, and now Ripple is out there interviewing those people. I also understand that people are mad about the SEC's actions and inactions after all this time, but in my opinion, this case really isn't about punishing the SEC or anyone else. When a party focuses on hurting the other side, they lose focus on winning for themselves. This case is about winning and making the whole crypto space succeed. If the SEC or anyone else gets hurt in the process, they brought it upon themselves. But that's not the goal. The goal is to clean the mess up and move forward. So I don't think the settlement is coming anytime soon. This is war. I think we should settle for the long haul. And I've expressed before why there's a couple of flaws with that. For example, if they wanted the first unique hand knowledge from William Hinman about the speeches, they would have most likely not gone through this entire deposition process. They would have most likely asked the assistant and whatnot. And if they wanted the people who he spoke with, they could have also looked at a log. They didn't have to go through this entire process. And the fact that the SEC, for example, never really went in against Ripple, and Ripple never really went in against the SEC, makes us wonder exactly how they could have deposed him if they either, once more, the SEC fully said, you know what, here, I'll suck, never mind, I won't say that. I'll basically come down on my knees and give you everything you want, daddy. That's one option. Could have happened, all right? Quickly putting that out there. Or Ripple was like, you know what, we don't really care. We don't really want that much. We just want a couple of words with it. We don't really want to go into depth. That's also strange, right? Now, attorney Jeremy Hogan also had something to say about this. He says, and I'm going to quickly take my shirt off here because we gotta look good for this one. Fillon makes some great points, and we're all just speculating. But if there's no settlement and Ripple didn't respond to the SEC's brief, I think that's a mistake, and that's not something I would expect from this legal team. In addition, we know that 90 to 95% of the SEC's cases settle at some level, but it is difficult to call like picking the bottom of a falling stock. You know it's going to bottom out sometime, but when is the question? John Deaton also thinks that the last week or so have been strange in that there has been a dearth of motion practice on a key privilege and some other issues. This type of lull in activity is a characteristic of a settlement, and if I don't see something soon, that is my guess. But yes, it could be 10 other things as well. Thanks, James. And already straight to the bat, Jeremy, of course, is always right. And he said that there's a good chance there's a settlement, but you never really know because there could be a million other things. And I'm going to agree with him saying, a settlement looks really likely with my very limited lawsuit experience. Just the way that things are moving right now, it looks really likely. Even though I'm not an advisor, not a lawyer, anything like that, ultimately I don't really know. It just looks really likely. There's always a different option, yet it's just been odd the way that things have been going. And that comes on two different bases. One, these things just don't line up the way that the deposition went, for example. Why would you not go in and basically request something extra? You would just fight to the death, right? The SEC and Ripple. So why not? Why all of a sudden is it not war anymore when it used to be war about every single small part? Why did Ripple not request any extra SEC documents now? All of a sudden, not anymore. And also, why all of a sudden this much back and forward about the fair notice defense and motions to dismiss? Why all of a sudden that? Right? Why such a big, heavy back and forward, yet Ripple did not finish their motion to strike conversation? Why did they stop in the midst? Why did they stall when it's such a timely issue? Everything doesn't make any much sense. Sherry actually asked, wouldn't a settlement mean that XRP is a security and therefore broke the securities law? Otherwise, if XRP is a currency, then technically no security law was broken, right? How would a settlement be possible with the end result as XRP is a currency, thereby negating lawsuit? Now, great point, great question. And it highlights why, one, drafting this settlement would be a long process. The verbiage would have to be exact and well thought out. And two, this settlement would be difficult to work out because Ripple needs clarity for the exchanges, which is difficult, and obviously you can get that. Jeffrey said, thinking outside the box, could it be dismissed and Congress makes a decision on what is a security or not? Barrett Gullinghouse mentioned this in a Fortune video that Rule posted that legislation or court decision would make the decision. And Jeremy says, this is a great question. If the case is still open, can legislation interfere, so to speak? If you're driving with a 1 blood alcohol level, are arrested, and then the law changes to make that legal level legal, are you off the hook? Answer, I don't know, but I will find out. And once more, guys, ultimately, I have no clue. I'm not a lawyer. I just read whatever these lawyers are saying because that's the best we can do. Somebody else said, thanks, Jeremy Hogan. Are there statistics on how many of those settled cases were favorable for the SEC? I'd assume most settled cases are settled out of fear from those getting the legal stick in the booty, and that isn't the case. Thanks so much. He said, it's a good question. I don't think there are statistics on which side won settlements in the SEC cases, mainly because it's such an objective factor. But I do think almost all settlements would include some kind of fine, etc., just by the nature of what settlements are, compromises. And ultimately, the SEC wants money. And the other side wants some clarity, which is usually, I think, the result of it, right? At least that's what I would guess. All right. Then, $45 billion asset manager Golden Tree has Bitcoin on its balance sheet. Despite staying silent on Bitcoin, Steve Tannenbaum has been reportedly buying it for years with his asset management firm. Oh, guys, I hope, by the way, that I haven't been using the wrong mic. If you hear it here, I'm so sorry. If you hear it here, that's the good mic. So, yeah, let's hope it was the good one. They've been basically founded by vulture investor Steve Tannenbaum back in 2000 and has been buying Bitcoin for years, according to a July 30 report by The Street that cites, anonymous sources with knowledge of the matter. Now, we're not 100% sure, but to be honest with you, whenever these reports come out, I do kind of trust them because ultimately they do not have that much reason to lie, except for manipulating the Bitcoin/crypto prices. Yet, by one of these asset managers buying a little bit of Bitcoin or buying it for years is not all of a sudden going to pump the price. So it's not a rumor like those from protocols like Uniswap, where a one little announcement of working with PayPal, for example, or Amazon working with crypto that could change the entire industry. No, an asset manager buying some Bitcoin is like an asset manager buying a really interesting stock. It's pretty cool, but it's not that game changing. Then, guys, I talked to you guys so much about XRP. Let me know in the comment section down below what other coins you'd like me to talk about. A good one that I really hold dearly is VeChain. And there's a couple of coins in the same little boat, which I've explained to you guys before. VeChain, for example, is a coin that Coinbase started exploring in June 2020. If it gets listed on Coinbase, there's a good chance it's going to spike by 40-50% or so. And the reason I still hold a freaking ton of it is partially also in anticipation of that. That's one of the reasons I will never really sell any coin that's being investigated by Coinbase, because there's a good chance it's going to get listed and you know there's gains that are about to come. VET could still be listed on Coinbase, could be a huge surprise to our portfolio. And so, yeah, it's something to kind of watch out for. And here is why seasoned corporate attorney James Fillon is telling XRP investors not to expect a settlement. Well, once more, we can see it from two sides. There's no real reason to say it's not going to happen. There's no real reason to say it's going to happen because either is as likely as the other. Why am I all of a sudden in such a coffee mood? I'm not sure exactly what's happening right there. I feel a little bit like Morgan Freeman if I talk a little bit like this. Yeah. No, I'm not exactly sure, guys. So I guess we should also end the video right here. There's two little articles I had, but they're really not any closer to the story than what we just covered. So I guess we're gonna keep it for what it is right now. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about the situation. It is really interesting to me.